Hey everybody, I'm Meg and you're watching Loven Stamps channel. This is Maker Mornings with Meg and I have a project to share with you on this Tuesday morning that features another sneak peek from the upcoming catalog. So if you want to get the supply list for this, you'll have to come back after the new catalog starts on September 6th because I'm going to show you stamps, ink, and embellishments that you'll have to put on a wish list until tomorrow morning, or I guess technically tonight at like 12:01 Mountain Time. Anyway, you're gonna love this stamp set. It is very sweet, and one of my favorite things, it is paired with a punch. So it's called Pick of the Patch, and the punch that it comes paired with, well, you can get them separately or together, is this Pick of the Patch punch, and you can say that 6 times fast for just some fun there. It's Pick of the Patch Builder Punch because it's got the pieces that all kind of come together. So it's got some leaves, it's got a stem, and then 2 cute little pumpkins. So it also matches stamps in the set, and we're gonna pair it. It doesn't have its own suite, so it doesn't have its own designer series paper. One might originally think, I guess, that it is to go with the Halloween paper, which certainly it could. And this is the Halloween paper, so this is actually the designer series paper share that I do for the Loven Stamps paper share. So cardstock, which is set for this one, and then the pumpkin or the Halloween paper, which is called, what's it called? Pardon me, let me consult. It's the Them Bones paper. So it is 12 by 12 paper. So this is cut down as 6 by 6 because then it is part of the paper share that I do. So there's the, I've got it all upside down. Here's the papers. Here you go. And then the back sides of the papers like this. And I have, of course, my orange on to go with it. Orange actually is my favorite color. Purple is close backup. So this whole paper, it makes me very happy. But I am not using that. I'm showing you that because it's part of the paper share. The paper that we are using instead for this project is from Garden Walk, and this is the stamp set and paper that I'm going to feature during the month of September because I love them, and because I always feature a suite or a set of projects. They're not a suite, official suite in this case, but a set of coordinating projects for a set of tutorials each month. And so these are going to be the ones for the month of, what month are we in? Oh my gosh, September, month of September. So now that I've got them all spread out, I'm gonna switch my camera over because I think honestly that's the easiest way to see them. And here you go. So these are the Garden Walk papers and the colors that are part of that paper package here. And they actually go with a different stamp set in their suite. And the stamp set that they go with is Modern Garden. And the punch that goes with them is one that is new too. It's the Modern Oval Punch. So that is this one here. Just weird reflections there. So those come together. But instead of pairing Modern Garden for our projects this month, we are going to use Pick of the Patch. So still the same gorgeous papers and colors from this, but instead with a slightly different stamp set. And honestly, I love the way the stamp set features them. So now if this is exciting to you, like why do you keep going to that package of mega papers and so forth? This is the designer series paper share, and the link is in the video description if you're interested in signing up for that. So it's all of the papers from the new catalog, all 62 of them, and the card bases to go along with them, and then 18 specialty papers and so forth. So I talked about this in last video, so I won't talk about it too much more. And then we will get stamping here, but make sure you sign up for that while there's spots available. So, all right, Pick of the Patch. These are sort of the colors that I've put together to go with this. And I'm also going to feature this Oxidized Copper paper. There are 2 different colors with it. This one is very Pretty Peacock related. The other one is a little bit peachier, and you'll see that on other projects. But we're going to start with this one. And you can just see that these color combinations here are so pretty together. I'm a really big fan of them. And so we're going to open up our packet here because this is one of the projects that you'll get. It'll be pre-punched and so forth, pre-cut for you if you order at least $50 from me this month. which will be easy with the new catalog, I promise you. But you will get 2 project kits in the mail at the end of September, and this is going to be one of them. So you're going to love this project here. So I have my half sheet of Pretty Peacock cardstock. I have a card base that's going to go in the center. I have a piece here of the, this is sort of wild wheat centric designer series paper, and it's going to go kind of across here. I have a piece here that I'm going to go ahead and punch with, but your pieces will be pre-punched for you. And then you'll want to have your own stamps and ink. So I also have here a punched piece. This is from the 2 3/8 inch circle punch, which is definitely one of my go-tos. I love this size. It's nice and large, and it's going to give us a great focal point here for our card. Then to go with this, we are going to do some stamping of our pumpkins. So you have 6 gourds here to choose from. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use this one here, but not for our punch. And 2 of them do match the punches. So here I have let's see, I'm looking for my Calypso Coral ink. Here I have my large of these pumpkins here. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this like, whoops. Now, when you have photopolymer, can you see how unevenly that is inking? That is a good sign that maybe my pad needs to be re-inked. And honestly, you can see that it's darker. There's more ink around the edges than there is in the center. So I'm going to just sort of turn my stamp a little bit to see if I can take advantage of that and get a little bit more even inking on there. So take a look at it before you stamp so that you're not surprised. You can get the image that you really want. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this here on the edge of our paper, because then I'm going to take my punch and go ahead and punch this out. Now, one of the projects I'm going to show you later in our series, so one of the other 4 projects, is going to feature the pumpkin pick-a-patch builder punch, and it will we're going to put all of the stamps together so you can stamp once and get a whole mess of pumpkins all at the same time. But for now, we're going to worry about it too much. And then I'm going to also stamp on here in Mossy Meadow. We're going to grab one more piece here that we're going to use in our punching pieces. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp my leaf. And again, same thing. Look at your stamp. Make sure it's inked the way you want. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp one on here. Now, I could have used a scrap of paper. I probably should, so that I'm not wasting all this extra. But we're gonna splurge because that's what's handy. And so now I have my punched piece right here. Okay. So now let's get this out of the way. We're gonna look at putting together a fun focal point for this. And then we're gonna embellish it. We're gonna add some extra greetings. We're gonna do all kinds of fun things here. So here we have a really simple pumpkin and leaf. And what I wanna add to this is this fun bird here. I really love this bird. And we're gonna stamp him, but I don't want to have to cut him out. And I don't have a punch or a die to match him. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp him in Peacock, but we're gonna use this background paper here. And we're gonna put our bird in the background like this so that he can sit on our pumpkin and we won't have to cut him out. I know, so clever, right? Just maybe call me a lazy stamper, but I do want to give our pumpkin some toppers here. So fortunately there are 2 fun little squiggles here, and I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna use this longer squiggle one here. You could use either one. And I want the squiggle to look like it's coming here from our pumpkin. So I'm gonna pop this here and put our bird, have our bird still standing on our piece here. Okay, so there we have our squiggle and our pumpkin. I feel like I might need one more squiggle to come up under here. Now it's gonna be covered by the pumpkin, so I don't have to worry too much about where it's coming from. So yeah, there we go. And then I have that little curly Q there at the top. Oh, but our bird has to stand on our pumpkin, so it's gonna go over here. All right, now, where is this one gonna come in? I want to bring in this wild wheat color. So I'm gonna grab my Wild Wink ink pad, and I'm going to add an extra gourd here in Wild Wheat. So let's get this out of the way. I'm getting inky fingers. This is why I always keep my chamois handy so I can wipe off extra ink. And we're gonna take our gourd and we're gonna go ahead and stamp it here on the side. Now, I'm gonna get this out of the way because I don't want to, I'm gonna put this underneath. I don't want to stamp on our table here. So, all right, so there is that. And now we have our pumpkin that's gonna go back on here like so. And our little leaf here that's gonna kind of fit in between. And then, oh, our pumpkin has to sit here. So we need our gourd to have a string coming off of it also. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink this one here one more time in moss and have that kind of come here off to the side. Now, I kind of wanted the gourd to go a little bit off to the side, the edge here. Let's see, shall I go ahead and do that again? I think I'm going to. All right, so sometimes you get, and I'm gonna show you one more of these. Sometimes you realize when you've done your stamping that it didn't quite come out exactly in the place you wanted. So let's quick put that back together. So peacock here for our bird friend. All right, oh, and that I'm gonna flip over because I didn't get his whole tail stamped. Goodness gracious, we are really rocking and rolling right now, aren't we? All right, so there's our bird, he's sitting there. The whole gourd has to go way up here. And I don't really want that to be on my table, so let's try this. Gourd up here. Okay, there we go. I'm happier with that. What do you guys think? Better? All right, so now I need to go ahead and put those stems back on. So maybe this time I can get it where I want it the first time, which is going to be a little bit easier. There we go. And then a curly Q here to go onto our gourd also. So let's see, I'm gonna pop that up like so. And our pumpkin, and now we're cooking. All right, so I'm gonna grab a Stampin' Dimensional and pop here on the back of this and stick this down like so. Now, a couple of tricks for you. Let's zoom in just a little. I'm gonna bring this back over here. One of the tricks that we're gonna do is we're going to color our little birdie's beak here. And to do that, you could use a marker. And in fact, I love keeping my markers handy because like if I hadn't gotten the stem right next to the gourd, I could take the tip of my marker and just add a little bit more. Same color as the ink, so it would work out well. But if you don't have the ink color, this is my wild wheat pad. And so I've got just a teeny drip of re-inker in there. And here I have a blender pen. So these come as a set of 3. And they have like a glycerol water kind of mixture inside, glycerin water mixture in them. And so they pick up ink and spread it around really well in sort of a water-based manner. So they work well with our water-based inks. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick this up here, just a little bit of wild wheat, and I am going to touch our little birdie beak here to add wild wheat to our bird. And then I'm just gonna run this out on the scrap paper because I don't want this to just always be wild wheat color. I don't use that all the time. And now this marker tip is clean and I can go on and use it on another color in the future. So, and there we have our little custom colored wild wheat piece there. So, all right, so let's go ahead and work on putting this together here. I have some other scraps of cardstock and paper. This is that pretty foiled paper here. We're gonna pop this here underneath, and I've got this ready to go on our paper here. So that's gonna bring in the blue color, the peacock there. And then I have this really pretty piece of peachy color, which is gonna soften our orange pumpkin and echo it a little bit. And I'm gonna pop this kind of underneath here so we have these together on our strip. So let's go ahead and glue those down. And for that, you guys know I'm gonna pull out my multi-purpose liquid glue because it is my favorite way to attach tiny things. And it gives me the most control with like getting them added on. And while we're at it, I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of glue on the edge of our pumpkin here because I want to go ahead and stick down our leaf there. So now it is part of our little 3 collage to our gourd, 2 gourds, our pumpkin, our gourd, and and I've gotten glue everywhere. That's okay, it'll be all right. and then I'm gonna overlap this. All right, so definitely a concern of the glue is making sure you keep it off your fingers and off of other parts of your project, but usually not too difficult. All right, this is gonna go down here, this is gonna go here, but you know me, I always want to have a greeting, so let's pull out our strip of Wild Wheat cardstock here and use our Pretty Peacock pad again. And I'm gonna use this You're the Pick of the Patch greeting, which I like very much. So much fun. You could use it for a birthday card or all kinds of fun things. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this here. Okay, so I've got this on our strip. This is a piece of cardstock that was just sort of in my scrap bin left over because we had it left over from another project. And actually, I think I used a different greeting on this originally, so you're gonna get to see a different one too. So I have the You're the Pick of the Patch, which is gonna go here, and it's going to kind of echo our strip here. So we're gonna kind of repeat that element, and then our circle is gonna go up here. But I always like to have our focal point kind of connected to our background. And so what we're gonna do for that is add in some more images, okay? We're gonna stamp them in Pretty Peacock ink on the Pretty Peacock background. And fortunately, there are some really great leafy images here included with this stamp set. So I'm holding these pieces down because I want to kind of keep in mind where my spectrum is going to run, where my edges. So I want to have some of these branches that are going to go kind of around our circle. I want to have some that kind of run down below our circle here. And so they're going to peek out from under our pieces. And I think right here will be kind of under the pick of the patch. So let's see how we did. Often I will do some stamping and then go back and add some elements and see kind of whether I got things positioned really where I wanted them. Actually, that looks pretty good. All right, and then there's this little blowing leaves, this little 3-leaf image that is really sweet. So I'm gonna add a couple of those around here. Let's see, when you are looking at something, you're like, should I add one more? Should I be done? You should stop. Let's see. And so I'm gonna add one more here, and now I'm not wondering, I know I should be done. And then I have one more little leaf here that I'm going to kind of pop out here, and maybe I'll pop one down here. And then this little, do you see this little blurb that I made here? I'm actually gonna cheat and I'm going to cover that up here. So I think I've got some ink smudge or something like that. So we're gonna pop one more extra little leaf on it there so that no one will know that I had a little ink smudge there, okay? All right, so now do you see how our background is all kind of connected here? We have a much better connection between our layers, and so I'm gonna go back now and sort of solidify where these pieces are going. So our strip down here, and then our next strip here is going to be on Stampin' Dimensionals because I love having that extra layered element. So we're gonna add dimensionals here to our banner and make sure that's not popping out too far. That's gonna come, it's gonna layer over, but go a little bit to the next door of. And then I'm gonna come back with our big circle here, our 2 3/8" punch piece, and pop this here on the front. All right, so there we have our You're the Pick of the Patch front. And we need some embellishments to go with this, clearly, right? Some bling, yes, you guys like bling. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab that here. These are the Blooming Pearls. They actually are part of the Garden Walk Designer Series paper suite. And so they're, no surprise here that they go so beautifully with our Garden Walk paper here. So let's get this out of the way. And we're going to add some of these. I've got my Take Your Pick tool. And remember to pull your pieces out from the side just to make your life a lot easier. And I love that the peacock here matches our peacock here. So I'm gonna use one of the larger ones, I think kind of down here. And I'm going to use them to highlight our focal point. And our focal point is going to be our greeting. So I'm going to kind of center these around our greeting. There we go, You're the Pick of the Patch, okay? So there is the front of our card. And then the inside of our card, we're gonna go ahead and use some more of these delightful stamps. So we have this piece of paper here. And since we have our Calypso coral here already, then we're gonna go ahead and use that again. And I'm gonna use, let's see, I'll just use the same pumpkin since it's handy and already mounted. Remember, always look at your stamp after you've inked it to make sure it's inked the way you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp this here inside our card. All right, now, whoops, and then I'm gonna drop my stamp. So good thing Stampin' Up! Cardstock is outstanding. I'm gonna flip it over and stamp it on the inside instead. All right, or on the back side instead, since I've kind of made a mess of the first part. And there is, to go along with this, a stamped topper also. So you're not limited to the punched topper for the pumpkin. You can use the stamped one, and I'm just gonna pop that on there with our pumpkin. And then we have all those little delightful curly cues. So let's bring this back. I'm going to have our curly cue run up here. And then I like our pumpkin not to be just floating in the middle of nowhere. So I'm gonna pop some of these vines underneath, and then I might kind of continue this one here with our second curly cue here. So you can kind of connect those. And then how about, we'll add a leaf too. Just one more little leaf element. So, and I'm gonna overlap that right here on the edge, okay? Of course, you could put your leaf here at the end of the pumpkin or whatnot. There's all kinds of different ways. And there are a bazillion pieces here that you could mix and match to decide how you want to have your inside of your card. All right, like just adding some random glue on there. And then we're gonna open this up and stamp this, or set this inside. Stamp, set, you know, all the things. All right, so there we have our piece. Super dangerous to smush from the front side. You're always best to smush from the back side so you don't get ink on things. And then we have, there is our You're the Pick of the Patch finished card. So, all right, here's another version. This one is the Harvest of Blessings version. Also a pretty card. And then I put the pumpkin at the opposite corner, but still kind of the same idea. You would stamp your envelope with the same image, of course. And then this focal point here, you can really do any way you like. Here is another one that didn't feature the bird, but just featured the pumpkin, and then I put in that little punched stem from our punch right here. So lots of possibilities. You could have that on there too if you didn't want to add the bird to your Harvest of Blessing cards or Pick of the Patch cards. So whatever focal point makes you happy. So hopefully that gives you guys some ideas for what to do with Pick of the Patch. I'm going to share 3 more ideas for this stamp and the stamp set and punch, as well as the Garden Walk Designer Series paper. And that is going to be our feature for the card kits to go this month. So remember, this is one of the 2 card kits that you'll get in the mail, actually. So you can make this card exactly as I've showed it, or you can adjust and do something different. If you are looking for the shopping list for this, take a look tomorrow on the 6th, because that is when I can post the links to the patch stamp set and so forth. But you can always check those on my website at Loven Stamps, especially for the monthly tutorial cards. So those are called card kits to go if you're looking for them. In the meantime, make sure if you are interested in signing up for the Designer Series paper swap or share, not really a swap, but a share, you can do that on my website at lovenstamps.com. Also look for the blog post from last week, or you can look at the link in this video description here, and it will get you to the right place to sign up for that share also. So, all right, guys, I think that covers us for today. So hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, that you are, your day is filled with fun fall colors like mine. Always a big fan of fall and oranges and things like that. So lots of good fun there. All right, I'll be back on Thursday with another Maker Mornings with Meg. And in the meantime, I'll see you on Wednesday, because Wednesday night at 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time, I am going to do my new catalog walkthrough. So I have cards to show you. I have all the new catalog things in here that I can show you. It'll be a good time and a chance to kind of get to walk through that. So we get together at 7 p.m. On the Loven Stamps Facebook page if you'd like to watch it live, or it will appear on the Loven Stamps YouTube channel after that is over tomorrow night, so Wednesday night. All right. Happy stamping, everybody. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and Thursday. It's a bonus week, and hope you have some fun working on your wish list for the new catalog. So happy stamping, everybody. Bye-bye.